Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and thanks for joining us here on this June 2nd. I'm CJ LeMaster, your lead investigative reporter and your host for the WLBT Plus Digital News Desk Update. I know that we have not been on here at 1 o'clock a lot as of late. I have been working on an investigative piece that we hope to have out there to you in the coming week or two, and so my attention has been diverted elsewhere, but we are back today. Got a lot of things that we need to get to. First off, and some of this is a developing story that we are following that we can tell you about from, honestly, we've been keeping up with this since the legislative session ended, but now a federal judge is blocking most provisions of the Jackson Metro Water Authority Act from going into effect. A U.S. District Judge granted part of a temporary injunction against the bill. Now, the city, if you remember, challenged the law, saying that it could interfere with the judge's ability to oversee the water and sewer systems. The judge took aim at several provisions of the law, including one requiring the authority to appoint a president to serve as a deputy to the interim third-party manager. You can see a complete breakdown of the judge's ruling in this story on Wlbt.com. And also, too, we have response from the mayor of Jackson to the judge's decision today, and that also is available on our website right now. If you go to WLBT.com, you will be able to see that, and we're going to show you. This, of course, is the article here talking about Mayor John Horn saying this is a victory for our citizens, our city, and our residents who depend on a lawful, orderly process for decisions about the future of our water system. That injunction, coming down yesterday, but again, the city responding here for the first time since the judge's actions. This coming shortly after the Jackson City Council met for its regular meeting today. And, of course, you can have plenty more of that information, including, again, the original article, which would have been the federal judge's action. So we have two stories there, the initial story, of course, and the mayor's reaction to that right now on WLBT.com. We want to say hi to Miss Janice Johnson, who says that she is watching. Miss Janice, hope you're doing well. Happy Tuesday to you. And we appreciate everybody else watching on our Facebook and YouTube live streams, as well as our OTT platforms. Thank you for taking time out of your day to make us part of your day. A multi-billion-dollar AI data center could be on its way to the metro. It would run its own private natural gas plant, but the developer remains tight-lipped when it comes to other major details about this project. Now, the biggest unanswered question of them all is where the tech site is going to be built. The developer, Gabriel Prado, says the site is in the metro, but he's not saying anything beyond that. He did say the site would be similar to the Amazon data center being built in Ridgeland, and that's what you see on your screen. 2 months ago, Prado asked the Public Service Commission to issue an opinion on whether he could build a natural gas plant at his proposed site. The PSC declined to weigh in, saying Prado didn't provide enough information, calling the request premature and hypothetical. Prado says the decision clears the way for him to move forward. He now plans to apply for the permits needed to build the plant.
Phase one is that initial 350 megawatts power generation with AI data center semiconductor. That is phase one, how we're looking at it. But we're going to go for full permit now for 1 giga is where our end goal goes. 1 gigawatt, in very simple terms, for the public that sees us, is 350 megawatts for reference. The campus that is right now in Ridgeland, it's going to be a 1 gigawatt campus. But all of this is sort of scaled up into years as it comes. So that's our end goal and our projection.
Now, Prado says the power plant would not be tied to the grid, but Entergy Mississippi disagrees and wants to make sure you, the customers, won't have to bear the cost, saying in a statement, in part, we want to ensure if this large-scale industrial project asks to connect to the electric grid in the future, it will cover all related interconnection costs, so those costs aren't passed on to Entergy's residential, small business, and other customers. Well, meantime, economic development officials in Madison County are still looking for a new tenant to the old Levi's facility over in Gluckstadt. Now, Levi's began operations there back in 1981, called it quits in December of 2024. A Milwaukee-based firm called F Street Investment Group bought the building, but nothing has happened there yet. Now, it could be leased to a new tenant, or it could be divided and leased to multiple tenants. Madison County's Economic Development Director says he stays in contact with the owners at F Street as they work to find a new use for that sprawling building.
That buyer could be somebody that wants the entire 850,000 square feet, or it may be an investor that buys the 850,000 square feet and then subdivide it to different tenants. I think their intent would be to sell the building outright, but if someone came and wanted to lease a third of it and someone else wanted to lease a third, I think they would entertain that as well.
The Mississippi Development Authority is also involved in the effort to find a new use for the Levi's building. Over in Hinds County, the Board of Supervisors here is using ARPA money, surplus ARPA money, to boost the salaries of the county's public defenders. The board voted unanimously yesterday, and that is the wrong video. I apologize, folks. Hinds County Board of Supervisors board voted yesterday unanimously to redirect almost $300,000 to the Public Defender's Office. The money, part of the reimbursement the county received after completing a new water tower project at the site of the new Hinds County Jail in South Jackson. Now, the Public Defender's Office has 11 assistant public defenders. It has 3 deputy public defenders. They handle some 3,000 unindicted cases each year, 150 to 250 indicted cases. Starting salary there is about $65,000 a year. Gail Wright Lowry, who, of course, runs that office, says that this is a burst for a limited time of money, but it's something, and we're grateful the board's recognizing our obligation to our clients here. Supervisor Robert Graham saying that this will allow her to have enough funds to continue to operate in her office. They've had, by the way, only one salary increase in the Public Defender's Office in the last 6 years. Mississippi is preparing to receive more than $1 billion in federal money over the next 5 years. It's dedicated to expanding and improving rural health care. Now, the Mississippi Rural Health Transformation Program is offering new details on eligibility and timelines. An hour-long webinar yesterday giving insight into the first round of grants that will focus on capital investments, telehealth expansion, and health technology upgrades. A majority of the state qualifies as rural, but these dollars won't be limited to just those areas.
There are a few exceptions, obviously, the counties with over 50,000 folks in them. But even in those counties, if you're in a municipality that has fewer than 15,000, you can still qualify. And you don't have to be located in those areas. You just have to be serving populations from that area.
The legislature passed a bill to intended to add transparency in the previous session. They said it wouldn't have directed any spending, but Governor Tate Reeves struck that down. He vetoed that bill, saying it would potentially slow down the process and put the state at risk of getting money clawed back, given the tight deadlines associated with obligating that money. That's all the time we have for this edition of the WLBT Plus Digital News Desk Update. Miss Melissa Price saying hi, saying hello, CJ and everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you too, Melissa. Thank you so much for joining us and getting in on the conversation a little bit. We'll be hopefully back here tomorrow at 1. Your First Alert Weather Team is going to be in here at 2:30 to let you know how the rest of your week is going to go. And our early evening newscast start at 4 p.m. on air and online. Mary Otto saying hello. Hope you're doing well, Mary. For all of us here at WLBT, I'm CJ LeMaster, your lead investigative reporter and your host each weekday for the Digital News Desk Update at 1 o'clock. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you back here tomorrow.